Good evening and welcome to the Financial Week. I'm Javon Keys. Let's start off with some news in aviation. European low-cost carrier Norse Atlantic Airways is set to launch multiple week flights between London, Gatwick and Jamaica. The Tourism Ministry says starting October this year, the airline will operate 4 flights per week to Montego Bay and 3 weekly flights to Kingston. This will mean there will be about 25 flights per week between the United Kingdom and Jamaica. Fares are to start at £559 for a round trip. Now, senior advisor and strategist in the Ministry of Tourism, Delano Seavright, says the introduction of the new flights is significant, especially the additional service to Kingston.
Because the only other carrier that does non-stop services between Kingston and London, Gatwick, is, of course, British Airways, which does about 3 flights per week. And will certainly redound to the benefit of Kingston, which we're quite focused on in developing. The airline is a modern airline. They're using the new Boeing 787 Dreamliners for the flights. Very comfortable and aircraft, and that's also a big plus for destination Jamaica.
Mr. Seavright predicts there will be increased bookings for Jamaica, with visitor arrivals from the United Kingdom already exceeding pre-COVID-19 levels. Meanwhile, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett believes that the new flights...
Jamaica is the number one destination, certainly for last year, for British visitors to the Caribbean. So we're ahead of everyone on that score. And we continue to see a very strong demand coming out of the UK for Jamaica. Last year, tour operators indicated to us that bookings for Jamaica are running anywhere from 15 to 40% more than what they would have in 2019 before COVID. This is a low-cost European airline that is certainly focused on bringing the fares at least below £1,000 as much as they possibly can.
Meanwhile, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett believes that the new flights from Norse will significantly enhance the Tourism Ministry's efforts to improve affordable air travel between Jamaica and its traditional and non-traditional source markets. Mr. Bartlett and Mr. Seavright are currently in Dubai, that's in the United Arab Emirates, for the Arabian Travel Market Tourism Trade Show. Of course, earlier this week we heard news about plans to have partnerships with Air India that are going to be forged later this year. Now back home to some company news. Caribbean Cement is reporting it made less profit in its first quarter ended March. Profit for the 3 months was valued at $289.4 million versus $1.6 billion for the corresponding period last year. Now, Carib Cement attributes the decline in profit to its spend on scheduled annual maintenance performed between January and February, which resulted in higher costs. Revenues for the period were barely changed at $6.8 billion. That's $12.5 million less, however, than the same period in 2021, when, of course, Carib Cement made $6.81 billion. The company says despite its performance, it is also looking to expand its investment portfolio. Carib Cement says although it experienced higher operating costs during the quarter, the company generated cash from operating activities of $2.2 billion, of which $1.2 billion was invested and $0.6 billion was used to pay down on loans during the period. To the foreign currency market now, the US dollar is closing the week selling for an average $154.59. $115.85 is the going rate for the Canadian dollar. The average selling rate for the pound is $194.14, while it's costing an average $171.99 for the euro. The JSE index gained 1,444 points today, while the junior market index lost 11 points. Leading the advances were Cygnus Real Estate Finance US dollar shares, Jetcon Corporation, Medical Disposables and Supplies, ISP Finance Services, and JMB Group 7.15% cumulative redeemable preference shares. Now, the decliners were led by KLE Group, Siboney Group, or parent company Radio Jamaica, Epley 7.75% preference shares, and Mayberry Investments. And that's the Financial Week. I'm Javon Keys. Good evening.